ringtone.
Hey.
Hello and welcome to the crossover, where nothing is out of bounds and everything is fair game. We have a lot to cover with you today, but first, let's check in with the Tunnel Crew. Please give a warm welcome to Stacks, Aggie P, Rooftop, TP, and Big T.
What's happening, everybody? And I'm your man, Big T. And once again, it's time for At Home with the Crossover. Joining me as usual, the usual cast of characters. And we ready to get it started. We talking about the First Lady, Mama, Doctor, the Queen. TP is in the house. What's up, TP?
Blessings, and blessings.
There you go. And then the Mr. Smooth, we're gonna give him a nickname, Dr. Smooth, in the house. Brother Bro Mel, man, the Elon basketball guy, man, and our expert when it comes to basketball. He knows a lot about the game and every sport. And like I said, he's just a smooth character, man. I mean, you hear the voice, you're just like, hey, man, this guy needs to be on a radio station doing the quiet stuff, whatever. Bro Mel is in the house. What's going on, Bro Mel?
Hey, praise the Lord. Glad to be here. Praise the Lord to everyone.
There you go. And he always gives the Lord the glory. I love that. And then we got our man. Birdman is in the house. I can't tell. What is that beanie? Is that a Wake Forest? Yeah, Wake Forest. He repping his Demon Deacons. Bird is in the house. What's going on, Bird?
Let the record show I'm going to fine Radar $2.5 million for showing up late to the team meeting.
Oh! Hey, Bird, he couldn't see. He was trying to drive to get to the studio, and he missed his turn about 100 times. So, so I might as well introduce him. Radar Charles is in the house. Radar, what's up?
Yes, sir. Now is the way, Big T. When it's time to play, sir. Welcome. Thank you. And I'll accept that fine, sir. Gladly.
There you go. Hey, y'all. And together, we are the Tunnel Crew, watching everything that happens inside and outside the tunnel, leading to the lines of competition in the world of sports. And we begin this edition of the show. We got a lot to talk about when we look back at all things in the week that was sports, college hoops upsets. Hey, a bunch of NBA young studs, man, young stars all across the league showing out. Troy Aikman is on the move, everybody. I didn't think it would ever happen, but Troy Aikman is on the move, and there's a lot more to talk about on this edition of the crossover. But we begin like we always do with our hot topics, the hottest stories of sports. May not be what everybody else is talking about, but it's the things we, the Tunnel Crew, want to talk about. And we start where, is there anything hotter than what happened in college basketball on Saturday? Because Saturday was one of the craziest days you'll ever see. In fact, it was historic. You had number one Gonzaga losing by 10 points, 67-57 on the road at number 23, St. Mary's. Gonzaga was averaging 89 points a game. That's tops in the nation. They only scored 57 against St. Mary's. Number two, Arizona got blown out by 16 at Colorado. Number three, Auburn danced on the Tennessee logo before the game. And then the Vols, number 17 Vols said, okay, here's a 67-62 loss. Thanks for coming. Go home and dance on your own logo. Number four, Purdue lost 68-65 on a near buzzer beater. They had like a second or so left after the shot that beat them, and they couldn't get a shot off. And they lost to Michigan State, by the way, which that gave Tom Izzo his 662nd Big Ten win. That ties Bob Knight for Big Ten record. He also tied Bob Knight for another record, 23 wins versus a top 5 team. That ties the all-time record. And then you had number 5 Kansas. They lost at number 10 Baylor 80-70. And finally, number 6 Kentucky lost at number 18 Arkansas 75-73. So all of these upsets, that's the first time in the history of the AP poll, y'all, going back to 1949, that all of the top 6 lost on the same day. It's also the first time that 7 out of the top 10 lost on the same day. So Tunnel Crew, upset. What's in the water? What's going on? Let's break it down. Let's talk about it. What do y'all think about this historic day?
Well, I think it's due to the long season, one thing, and you get ready to get geared up for the NCAA. So, when they start projecting who's going to be what a week or two out, then people feel like, okay, I can relax a little bit. We're going to be a number 1 seed, or, that's what I can just get out of that. Other than that, they get worn down, man. They just get worn down.
Say the legs get tired, get a little. Well. Hey, going back to Auburn, just don't go dance on the other team's logo. Just go out and play ball. Birdman was texting about that.
Yeah. I mean, but I just believe on that is that when you have a longer, because you look at their records, man, they playing almost 30 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
They playing almost 30 games, man, and for some, man, that's a lot of basketball.
Yeah. Hey, anybody else got any thoughts on all the upsets?
Yes, I was gonna say I think it's truly a changing of the guards this year. I think it's a changing of the guards, not only in college, but of course in the NBA, but when it pertains to college, we are typically used to seeing some of the big teams. That's like you said, some of these are really big teams, but don't sleep on the small schools.
Yeah.
Because they're, sometimes they have a lot to offer, and that competition is now coming to some of the smaller schools. I think we see that now with the changing the guards, even with HBCUs. So, I think Dion kind of hit that nail in the hole when it came time for people to just start paying attention to some other things that maybe you kind of missed out on, or maybe just say, hey, I'm going to get this type of recruit. Yeah. But it's even kind of weird to not even hear about Carolina right now or Duke when it comes to some of these things. Some of these things are expected, even like when it comes to the ACC. So, basketball is my favorite thing, and from sports. So I love it. I love to see a challenge. I love to see some of our small schools do some things. So I'm ready for it.
Well, and something, you look at, Baylor pulling off the upset over Kansas. I mean, it was at Baylor, and people forget Baylor, they're ranked number 10, and they're the defending national champs. I mean, it's like a lot of people forgot that Baylor won the national championship last year. Now, I know they had some turnover and everything, but hey, they still a force to be reckoned with, especially on the home court, Well,
you're right with that. I don't consider that as an upset. I think people consider it an upset because of where they ranked at, But certain teams, they're competitive. They just, sometimes you may have a few players that's hurt. That's key to their team. Some come back, but it's all about a mindset. And home court advantage sometimes is not really, home court advantage. What you've seen this year is that whoever's coming out to play. And, if you're not ready to play, you can get upset.
That's right. That's right.
But I'm going to tell you this, Big T, you're going to see a lot of different schools in the NCAA playoff this year.
Yeah. Go ahead, Aggie P.
Well, I'm going to be selfish here. These teams that's supposed to win better start winning, man. I need a 4-0 week.
Say they better start winning.
They better start winning, Big T. I don't know. I don't like this.
So you don't like it?
No, I'm just going to start picking the underdog. I mean...
Tell him, Aggie P, they messing up our picks, ain't they?
I know, man. Hey, I mean, I like everything everybody said, but I'm sitting here like, come on now.
Yeah.
Win these games.
Well, and you know what? When you look at Kentucky, they got a player of the year candidate in Tshiebwe, and when that guy goes out and scores 30 points and gets 18 rebounds, they're not supposed to lose that game. I mean, I watched that dude dominate when they played Carolina back earlier this season. I'm telling you, this dude's a beast, and when he puts up that type of performance and you still lose, that's just not supposed to happen.
Right. So I don't know what's in the water, what's in the air. They need to correct it, Big T.
Say they need to fix it.
They need to correct it.
Bird. Oh, go ahead, TP.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, but this just goes back to what we expect to happen.
Yep.
We expect for certain teams to be there. We expected Brady to
Yep.
be in the head for the NFL, and that didn't happen. So he didn't make it to the big game. So when that's one thing that I love about sports. It's so unpredictable. Even though we predict things are gonna happen, but it's just an unpredictable game.
It is, and you know something? I mean, what they sort of tell us is get ready because the tournament is right around the corner, and it's probably not going to go the way we expect it to. I mean, so get ready. Bird. Oh, go ahead, Radar.
Yeah, we might even see A&T up in there, Big T.
You know what? I'm gonna let that one go.
They might make a run, Big T.
Hey, he had to take a shot, didn't he? He had to take a shot.
He just had to mess it up.
It's all right.
Hey, and you know what? By the way, because Bird took his shot at Radar and Radar, I had to make my jokes on him. I forgot Aggie P is in the house, y'all. Representing man. Hey, I'm sorry, Aggie P. Hey, you got your own intro. Aggie P is in the house, y'all. Representing A&T as usual. Aggie P, what's up?
That's right. And we nationwide. We nationwide, Big T. Radar. We nationwide.
I can't tell, sir. I can't tell the way Big T
we win it all,
sir.
Radar.
We forgot about you, Aggie, sir.
Hey, see,
that's how you carry you, Aggie.
See, it took blind man Radar Charles to take me off track, man. Caused me to miss Aggie, sir. Man, come
like
on.
Birdman. This is what happens.
Where's the fine at Birdman? Come on, hit him with the fine. Hit him with the fine, sir.
That's right. I'm agreeing with Birdman.
You forgot you on the opening clip, sir. We were supposed to be professionals.
Hit you with the fine.
Oh man. Okay, so listen up, y'all. So let's jump from the national. Oh, real quick, Bird. You were mad, man, about the logo stomping and everything. Real quick, give me your thoughts on the logo jumping.
I said it in the group chat, and I'll say it on air. You're either really cocky, really arrogant, really confident, or really stupid. Or you might be all of it. I don't know. I just don't know.
Hey, like I said, Tennessee said, all right, stomp on the logo, go home with that L,
Yeah.
That's how you stop it. Go ahead, TP.
No, Small Wonder said Aggie Pride don't go there, Radar.
There you go.
Got back up, Radar.
That's right. A lot of backup.
Yeah.
All right, hey, let's move on to closer to home because there's one top 10 team that didn't lose but dominated. Number 7 Duke went on the road to Syracuse, jumped out 14-0 to start the game, led by 30 at one point, and won on the road at the Carrier Dome by 25 points. So they certainly didn't have any problems. They avoided all the pitfalls that everybody else was facing. And then you had, like I said, closer to home. Oh, by the way, in that game, Mark Williams went off with 28 points and had double-digit rebounds also. Hey, he's the big key with them. When he plays like that, they hard to beat, And then Carolina smoked State again. I mean, they smoked State twice this year. They were up by 20, eventually ended up cruising and winning it by 10. Hey, Baycock, man, he had the first 20, 15, and 5 game in the history of Carolina. I couldn't believe that, the history. He scored 28 points, 18 rebounds, had 5 blocks. And then last night, they held off an onslaught from Syracuse, won in overtime, and Baycott had 17 points, 18 rebounds. But man, if y'all saw that game, the guy from Syracuse that lit Carolina up, man, was Cole, man. That dude, Cole Swider, man, that dude had 36 points on 14 out of 20 shooting, 7 out of 10 from three-point range. And the only reason I think Carolina survived because he fouled out with, a few seconds left to go in the game. Well, actually, there's a little over a minute left to go in the game. He fouled out. So, as we know, this sets up the big matchup this weekend. Carolina is at Duke for Coach K's final home game. They're going to be matching up at Cameron, and it'll be his last home game. And of course, we got to talk about that a little bit on the other side of the break. So when we come back, get ready. We're going to talk Coach K. We're going to talk Duke Carolina rivalry and so much more. You're listening to At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Hey, and make sure you catch every member of the Tunnel Crew. We have fun each and every week. Tuesday nights live on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. And once you get there, you'll get a chance to see the Queen living it up in the mansion. You'll get to see Smooth Bromel and Radar Charles and Birdman, repping his favorite teams each and every week. He don't have a belt on tonight because it was a rough week for him. Aggie P repping the Aggies and all the Tunnel Crew having fun each and every week. Tune in, like I said, on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. live on YouTube, Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and tell all of your friends about it so you can catch us every week. And then on Thursday nights, you can catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the WLJF app. It's available both on Google Play and in the iTunes store. So catch us on Thursday night, 7 p.m. for the audio version of the show. All right, let's get back to the hot topics, and we're going to wrap up this Carolina Duke conversation because we're going to talk more about it in the next segment. But, it's been an interesting season. I mean, Duke hasn't been as dominant as a lot of people thought they were going to be. I think they've got, 5 losses, and a lot of people didn't have them losing that many games. And Carolina is actually, after the way they struggled early on in the season, has had, a little bit, more of a better season than people thought they were going to have. They're currently 22-8 going into this final game. Don't want anybody to give any predictions or anything, but, they're saying that this game, like I said, it's Coach K's last home game. They're expecting 80 former players to be in the building. They're expecting celebrities to be in there. I mean, you remember President Obama came to see Zion a few years ago. Who knows? He may show up. And they're saying the minimum ticket price online is going for $3,600. And on StubHub, average price is going for around $5,300. Would y'all pay that much to go to this game?
If money was in my budget, I would.
I was gonna say if money was no object. Let's say that.
Yeah, if it was in my budget, me and Brother Mel be right.
Definitely be there if it was in my budget.
Say it's in your budget.
Sir. If it was in my budget, I would be front. Hey, I'd be up there bouncing like the crazies.
Hey, now I'm gonna tell you, if it was in my budget, you know what I would do? I'd buy the ticket and wouldn't go. You see the guy that just sold the Bulls ticket that was unused? I think it was Michael Jordan's rookie year ticket or something like that. He made like it was like $20-something thousand off of it because it wasn't used and he's got it framed and everything. Hey, I'd buy it and wouldn't go to the game. I just frame it, put it up about 20 years from now. Say, hey, I wonder how much I can get for this.
Hey, Big T.
Yeah.
My thing would be for him to request for me to do his last game play-by-play. I'm not gonna do it unless Radar can do it. I'll do it for you, Coach K.
So you do it. Hey, you gotta say it right. I'm not gonna do it unless come on, Radar. You gotta do it, man.
I don't know, Coach K. I don't know.
Oh man. Well, we'll see what happens on this weekend. It's gonna be a big game at Cameron. If the past for this season is any indication, Carolina has been absolutely demolished by really good teams. I mean, including Duke and Chapel Hill. You know, they beat them by 20-something. So, you know, if it goes the way it's going all year, Carolina might be in trouble. TP, you get ready to say something.
Well, I was just gonna say, you know, with all the high price tickets, it makes you wonder, are they going to decrease some of the student section? You think about athletics, you really want that money.
Yeah.
And they're not going to move it because they're taking away the feel of the game for it to be his class because it's more about him. Yeah. So what do y'all think? Y'all think they're going to decrease the student section?
I don't think so. Because I think Coach K would take offense at that, you know, because he's going to say, they the ones that helped me. You know how Coach K is. They're the ones that helped me get to this, you know, record and all this stuff. So
true, but even if they took 20 or 30 seats, that's 20 seats in there. And then you think about it, you get to finally be the Cameron Crazies. I mean, you get to be in the C section. That's some people's dream.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I didn't think, because you know, 20, who's gonna miss 20 or 30 seats, you know?
That's $72,000, man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's about a couple $1 million right there.
Yes.
You know. That's 72 grand. They got to go, Big T.
They got to go.
Hey, what they tell them, they be camping out. They should have went in there and camped out early.
Yes, sir.
But if you saw how much he charged for his basketball camps, he don't need that money.
Hey, moving on to somebody that's I'm sad to report he's in trouble. Patrick Ewing, legendary Georgetown player, now coaching the Hoyas. Man, this guy's struggling, man. Georgetown has lost 18 games in a row, y'all. Lord. 18 games, and they're currently 0-17 in the conference. I just want to remind everybody, they won the conference tournament last year. So, you know, there's a lot of talk about will Patrick Ewing survive? Everybody's thoughts on, because we love Patrick, man. You know, he used to coach down here in Charlotte with the Hornets, you know, and man, it's not looking good for Pat.
Well, see, that's what I don't like. You know, I'm just saying college basketball in general, man. You don't give these coaches an opportunity. You know, I think what's his third year?
Yeah.
His third year.
Yep.
And you know, you have one bad season, and you know, man, you're talking about possibility letting them go.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You're not going to get the recruits, man. You look at the recruits that's coming in. You got to give them an opportunity, man.
Yeah.
I just see that happening too many times now.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not winning right off, then they ready to let you go.
They get out of here, you know. Hit the door, huh? Hey, anybody else got any thoughts on poor Pat, man? You know, should we pray for him? I mean, you know.
Definitely. Yeah.
I got a question. I got a question for you, Bromel and Aggie P and CP. Do you think he rubbed the AD the wrong way? Because usually they give you all the time you want as long as you go along with the program.
Yeah. Well, and let me say that he hadn't been fired yet, but all the talk is, will he be, you know? Because, I mean, losing 18 in a row, that's a school record, you know? So you're talking about doing stuff that's never happened at Georgetown, you know?
Well, I think a lot of it be, you know, the type of players he recruiting, you know, and those type of things like that, man. Because like I said, this year it's parity, man. Mid majors, man, they getting players, and some of these cats, man, they just want to go somewhere they can get on the court. They ain't sitting on the bench no more.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, I'd be shocked if he gets fired. Because of the amount of years he's been there. I think they at least should give him another year. But you never know. Because you got to look at, okay, if you're going to fire him, who's going to come behind him?
Yeah.
And what type of players you're going to have? Who's going to come there? And you in the Big East too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got some good.
But 18 in a row though. I mean, I'm trying to hold on. And I want to, but bro, man, 18.
So you couldn't
squeak one out in 18 games.
So you couldn't get lucky and still won.
I know. I mean, that's a lot, man.
I think you have to look at how they lost. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is that when you have some tough losses, 1 or 2 point games, you getting blown out. I can understand that because you don't have control of that team if you're consistently getting blown out. And like I say, the Big East, man, Big East ain't no joke from top to bottom. So if you ain't coming to play, then you'll lose 18 in a row. So, I give him the 18 that he deserved, but I also look at, okay, what are their, what they have, because I've watched Georgetown numerous of times. And I've watched them numerous of times, but look like what I've seen, they need some more players. To be honest with you,
need to beef up the roster.
Yeah, they do because they
so
only
you're
had.
saying, bro, the talent.
Yeah, the talent. I don't think the talent is where it needs to be for the Big East. No.
Yeah. Hey, jumping to the NBA, at the opening of the show, I talked about how there was a lot of young studs going off, over this weekend, and that included Trey Lance. Trey Young. He went out there and scored 40 points, had 11 assists, and that was the 10th time in his career he's had a 40-point, 10-assist game. And then he had 27 points in a win against Toronto. And then Ja Morant, man, 46 points in a road win versus the second best team in the East, the Bulls. And then last night he goes out there and the Grizzlies were the only franchise not to have a player that scored 50 points in the history of the franchise. They were the only one left in the league, and he scored 52 points last night on the Spurs. So back-to-back games, he had 47 points, 52 points. He's now back in the MVP conversation. I've heard a lot of people talking about him being squarely in the chase. And it made me think, because, just last week also, you had J.J. Redick come out and criticize Zion, because Zion hadn't played all year. He had ankle surgery back in the summer and hadn't played all year. And they just signed C.J. McCollum, and Zion hadn't even called him, hadn't even reached out to him. And J.J. Redick criticized him, said he's disconnected from the Pelicans franchise, disconnected from, the players, his teammates and everything. He's like, because your superstar's supposed to reach out and call new guys. And so contrast those two. You got Zion that hadn't played, and then you got Ja Morant, who was taking number 2 behind Zion that year, going crazy. 47 points one game, 52 in the next game. Your thoughts on these two guys? I mean, is it destined to be, did they make a mistake taking Zion?
I don't think they made a mistake. I just feel like he's been injury prone. You look at when he wasn't hurt and what he did compared to just being out. That's how I look at it.
Averaged 27 a game when he wasn't hurt. Well, and that. Oh, go ahead, TP.
I was gonna say I'm gonna piggyback off of that, but I'm gonna say Fletcher Ashley says, "Sorry, Duke fans." My Wonder said, "Mr. Fletcher, wow." So I'm gonna say that in reference to Zion. One thing I have seen is when they recruit NBA players and stuff, sometimes we think that they're ready on the court, but they're not exactly ready off of the court. And that's the type of thing that I really had to do off of the court when I worked for the NBA. We really had to talk to these guys a lot, and how even though they may have had a year or two in, how are they going to get back? a lot of times they don't know how to give back because they're still being coached.
Yeah.
So, and that's a lot of things for off the court. You have to realize that these guys were given so much throughout their lifetime that now when it's time for them to give, they're not ready.
Well, he's listed on their website as 284, but there's rumors he's ballooned up to 330 pounds since he's been out. So you got to back away from the table.
That's the problem I have, Big King.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have. I mean, you have an obligation, especially if you're pick number one, to get yourself on a meal plan. I mean, drop the weight, Zion. I mean, I know you powerful and everything, but come on, bro. Get you a good shelf. You can afford it. Drop the weight, get yourself in condition, and go out and play ball.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the guy that just went to the 76ers.
James Harden. James Harden.
Yeah, have you seen his new body?
Yeah.
Since he got to the 76ers.
He got the dad bod.
Weight, man. I mean, you got to do those things in order to be a great athlete. So I just got a problem with Zion, man, not taking better care of his body. That's all.
Hey, everybody. Listen up. We're up against a hard break. Listen up, everybody. Be sure to catch us every Tuesday night on YouTube, Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. And then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version on WLJFradio.com. When we come back, we have more of the discussion and question of the day.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Hey, catch us every Tuesday night live on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. And then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it also online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app. It's available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. Hey, TP, any social media shout outs or comments for us?
Oh, we got a whole bunch, especially from Fletcher Ashley. First, he said, I hope they spoil Coach K's last game at Cameron. So then he's talking about, and he was saying that that he hopes that, I think he was saying that Zion got an extension and financially he would be okay, you know, especially when we were talking about his weight. And so he said that he needs to be gone. So and he said, ain't no holding on. He just started to say, ain't no holding on. So, you know, I think that just what we were saying, you know, we know he's blown up as far as body wise. We know that he may have some talent, but it don't seem like anybody trying to hold on right now to him. So I think he's a Zion fan or you're not. So.
And you know what? Here's what usually blowing up like that is a sign of being a fat cat, like you're satisfied, you know. So sometimes you walk in there and you get that big contract and you make all that money, you get the endorsement money and all that stuff, because he got that big, huge endorsement deal right out of Duke, then you just kind of, you kind of kick back. Your hunger is gone, I mean, and you start eating all the pizzas and fried chicken and, not working out as hard. And next thing you know, you're 330 pounds, If you're not careful, you eat your way out of the league.
They've been getting blown out. But let me say this too. I remember, and I'm sure we all do, remember when Shaquille was just tall. And then when he came out, he was just big. But the thing is that Shaquille, people worked out with Shaquille. Because at first he was having those little growing pains where you're real tall, your legs are skinny, you don't know what to do, and you're falling all the time. With Zion, he's just big all the way around.
Yeah.
And the sad part is, unless he does get up and start moving or start really going to physical therapy, he's going to be a has-been player. He's going to see, he really is. And he's going to say, wow, wasted talent. And you hate to really hear that. But I'm going to tell you now, they're going to give him a chance behind the scenes. But if he doesn't take that chance, and I don't care if you're sitting out, if you're injured, you better find some way to do some wheelchair exercises, because they'll give you a chance. But if you're not improving, they'll ship you back home.
Yeah. I think that's part of the reason why he's injured as well, because when you're carrying that amount of weight and your ankles or your knees is not, because some people still, you gotta realize people are still growing. He's still growing.
Yeah.
He left Duke early, man. He's still a young, a young man.
That's right.
So he's still growing. And then you put that weight on top of that, that's where the injury is coming from,
Hey, a couple of quick,
get on that plan.
Couple of quick stories before we jump to our question of the day. So it was announced this week that Troy Aikman is leaving Fox. He's been there for 20 years. He's going to work at ESPN on Monday Night Football. Now, ESPN has been trying to find the perfect Monday Night Football crew for years. And it looks like they have finally found their guy. They got Troy. Now they got to put somebody with him. But they signed him to a $90 million 5-year deal. Remember, Tony Romo signed that $180 million 10-year deal with CBS. So it's along the same lines, just not lengthwise, And so now they're looking at finding somebody to replace him at Fox. And names that keep coming up are Sean Payton, who just retired from the Saints. And then former Carolina Panther, Greg Olsen, he's their number 2 guy. As far as, Troy Aikman is their number 1 play-by-play guy. Greg Olsen, after 1 year of being there, is their number 2 guy. So they're talking about maybe bumping him up to join Joe Buck. But hey, the talk is Joe Buck might be leaving. He's got 1 year left on his deal. And they said ESPN said they might try to go get him and pair him with Aikman on Monday Night Football. So, hey, you got that story. And then Grambling State, Hugh Jackson, man, they went out there and hired Art Briles as their offensive coordinator over the weekend, and they caught a lot of flack because I don't know if y'all remember, Art Briles used to coach Baylor, and while he was there, they had 19 players accused of sexual assault and sexual violence incidents by 17 different victims. And so Art Briles got fired in 2016, summer of 2016, and he's been out of coaching since then. And Hugh Jackson goes and hires him and says, hey, he deserves a second chance. And, the school said, hey, we vetted him and all this stuff. And after all the heat, Doug Williams said, hey, I'm done with the football program. He was like, I don't want to have anything to do with that because that means I'm condoning it. So I'm separating myself from it. And basically 4 days later, Art Briles said, hey, I don't want to be a distraction. I'm stepping down. It sounds a lot like that Urban Meyer thing, earlier this year. Your thoughts on either one of these stories, Troy Aikman going to ESPN or the Grambling situation? And got to make it quick because we got to jump to our question of the day.
Basically, Big T, I don't understand why they hired the man at Grambling. I mean, I tried to look at it from all angles. I mean, the man has a history here, and so why would you bring that to your program? I know it's been years that, that everything has happened, but I don't understand it. But, to hurry this up and what I have to say, I'm glad he resigned and got out.
Yeah,
That would have been something going on all year. Yeah.
Yeah. He made it easy on them by just resigning.
Right. Right. I'm glad he did that.
Anybody else? Thoughts on either one of those stories?
Yes, I concur with Aggie P. He never stepped foot in Grambling. I do believe Doug Williams had a lot of pull with that, especially when he said, "Hey, I'm pulling out my support." Doug Williams even came back to Grambling. And then when he left, and I believe don't quote me wrong, but I believe he's with ESPN. That school needs the coverage that they need, because Grambling has had to do a whole 180, especially when the students were accusing them at one time of Grambling not stepping up. If you're going to pull your star player who's definitely been in the Super Bowl and he's not going to back you, who would? Especially bringing trouble there. So I concur.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. Well, let's move on to the question of the day, everybody. And question of the day is this. We talked earlier about the game Saturday, Carolina at Duke. It's Coach K's last home game at Cameron. So the question is this. If you could attend the last home game for any legendary coach or player, past or present, who would it be? And we're going to toss it out there. Tunnel Crew, have at it.
That's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'll go ahead and go first.
All right.
And get out the way. Of course, mine would be Lawrence Taylor.
Ah, yes.
But, they did lose to San Francisco in 1994 on his last home game. But hey, I don't know. I just love the guy, and I love the way he played. And I would pay anything to have been in that game, because they actually say, after the game, man, he just cried like a baby. That it was over. He knew it was over. He wasn't coming back. So that's my choice, Lawrence Taylor, for that. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Next up.
Well, mine will be Phil Ford, Carolina, and the reason why I say that is because that was one that I sort of implemented my game after. I would have loved to see him play his last home game, and that would have been very exciting just to see that, just to be in that crowd, just to see that game. I'm not sure if they won or lost. It's just being in the atmosphere and seeing that, seeing that last home game.
Yeah. Next. Oh man. I mean, I have never heard the Tunnel Crew stumped. Hey, I'm gonna throw one out there. And actually I might end up having to take it back because it's probably not gonna be his last game, but I would say TB12, Tom Brady. And it's for a different reason. I would have wanted to be there to see them getting blown out 27-3. Hey, come all the way back and think they had a win, and then 2 plays, Cooper Kupp beat them. So I would have been sitting there just loving that. Where every time they show him on the Jumbotron looking helpless when they rolled the field goal kicker out there, and the Rams won the game. So I would have loved to have been there. Of course, we know that's probably not going to be his last home game though. So anyway,
I hope so. I hope so. Come on, Reid. I know.
I would have to say Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny that you say that, because we talked about that before. We talked about that on the pre-show, and we said it's kind of cheating to say, because I said I might throw Kobe out there, but I said it's kind of cheating to say Kobe because we know what he did his last home game. He scored 61 points, and that's what you throw out. That's what you throw out. But it would have been cool to be there when the guy scored 61. If you score 61 points in your last game, who wouldn't want to be up in there? I mean, that's pretty impressive. Bird, you got somebody?
Andy Reid.
Okay. All right.
I would have loved to been there when all the controversy with him getting Michael Vick and stuff happened. I would love to see the reaction and hear the reaction from the crowd.
Yeah. And Big Red, he is his last. That would have been his last home game for the Eagles, but he'll move on to the Chiefs now, so he might get another last home game with Mahomes and the boys here in the next few years. My homie. TP.
I was actually I used to do some work with the Eagles when I went to Temple, so I used to see him all the time. What Birdman was saying. I would like to have seen John Thomas from Georgetown.
Oh yeah.
I would have liked to see his last game. I like him because I like a man's man. But
he definitely was that.
Yes. And I know y'all gonna be a little shocked, and he is too. But I would have liked to see Mr. Watkins' last game.
Oh.
I really would have liked to see Mr. Watkins' last game before he coached, because I know how much he loves baseball, golf, all of that. So some of our listeners, Fletcher Ashley said he would love to have seen Tony Dungy.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's a good one too.
That is
but
a good one.
I love to see men that invest not only into their players, but invest into men outside of the court. And that's one thing I liked about John Thomas when he invested into Allen Iverson.
Yep.
He was my other pick.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson.
AI, and it's funny because I was thinking about him too. I said, man, it would have been cool to see AI, especially seeing how he's kind of blown up now in terms of, he's mythical now in terms of the fans, what they think of and everything. Like, he got a lot of criticism and heat back when he was playing, but he's on a mythical level now. I mean, it's like, the guy is, he a lot of people give him so much credit for really changing the game, being a little guy with that much heart, going in there amongst the giants and everything. And then, to be honest with you, we know Dennis Rodman had all the tats, and he, was kind of the first guy that was all tatted, but AI was the guy that made it cool and the generation's mind, where now, I mean, you can't go to a basketball game without seeing somebody on the court that's got tats. And a lot of people take that back to AI, I mean, even the cornrows and the braids, that wasn't huge when he came in the league,
Right. Yeah.
So he definitely changed the culture in basketball. So
hey, Big T.
Yeah.
He kind of did like Aggie P when he came out of quarantine with the little baby high top play.
Baby pro.
And then he gonna switch up on us and go ball again. I like that, Aggie P. I like how you switched up on us, sir.
Oh, okay. We on Aggie P. All right.
But you know what I do really like about AI? I really do like this about AI, and I've met him several times personally. What I do like is he stayed true to himself.
Yeah.
He stayed true to himself, but let me tell you, behind the scenes, he has been very open about when you approach him in a sincere manner. He is very open in a sincere manner to receive what you're saying.
Okay.
You can't just come to him any kind of way, but he's been very open to receive criticism and everything, depending on how you approach him as well.
Yeah. Well, hey, and we did this question of the day because, like we said, Coach K's last home game is this weekend. And I just want to ask everybody real quick to piggyback off of this question of the day, why is Coach K so polarized? I mean, why does it seem like you either love him or you hate him? Any thoughts from the crew in the final 15 seconds here, 20 seconds?
My thought is the way he is, what he instilling into his players, that is, I don't like the teams have changed since then, but just the way they played is just being arrogant and sort of dirty playing. And that's what the dislike with that. I don't hate anybody, but just the dislike of coaching.
Yeah, his
that's
style
what got me with him. Yeah.
Well, he kind of comes. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, I feel like he's the last of the legends.
Yeah.
Your Dean Smiths and all of them, Giovanni. I feel like he's the last.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, we're losing two big ones, man, with him and Roy both going out this year. It's tough. All right, y'all. Hey, everybody, catch this live at home edition of the Crossover every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, find the channel, and be sure to like, share, subscribe, and tell everybody about it. Then on Thursday nights, you can catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app. It's available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. When we come back, it's time for the wrap-up.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
It's time now for the crossover wrap-up report. Let's send it back to the Tunnel Crew.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. A couple of quick stories to mention before we get into our pick segment. Major League Baseball Owners and Players Association met for hours last night, well after midnight, and met again today, all day long, and basically broke apart. And the Players Association said, nope, we're not settling, we're not taking less than what we want. So it looks like the first week of games will be canceled. Opening day will be pushed back. And if this keeps going, they may miss a lot more than that. And then Derek Jeter resigned yesterday as the Marlins CEO. He said that he and the team no longer see eye to eye on the future of how they're building the franchise. And so he said, he's given that up, and he was hired back in 2017, and he also sold the shares in the team. So he's totally divesting himself of any connection to the Miami Marlins. So there you have it. Two Major League Baseball stories to keep an eye on as we get ready to head into our standings and updated on how things went last week and our picks for this week. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. And the standings for last week look like this. TP and Aggie P tied at 2-2 for the best record in the pick segment last week. So they won the week. Congratulations to the Aggies. Hey, if you can come out of a rough week 2-2, take it. You know what I'm saying? Take it. And then
I will.
And then you had me, Birdman, and Bromel came in tied for second at 1-3. I mean, hey, that's how rough it was, y'all. 1-3. And then Radar and Stats. Of course, we know Stats didn't turn any picks in, so he was 0-4 before we even went off the air last week. But Radar tried to win some games and went 0-4. So Stats and Radar come in last at 0-4. So the overall standings look like this. I'm on the top with 23 wins. Aggie P is breathing down my neck with 22 wins. Birdman is next with 21 wins. Then you got a tie at fourth with Bromel and TP, both with 20 wins. Then you got Radar with 18 wins and Stats with 15 wins. And the games for this week look like this. We're taking men's college basketball. We got number 7 Providence at number 12 Villanova. We got number 10 Purdue at number 9 Wisconsin. Of course, we mentioned UNC at number 5 Duke. That's Saturday at 6 o'clock. Then we got number 20 USC at number 21 UCLA. And then the NBA, we got the Cavs, who I think 4th in the East at the 76ers. And then the Suns, the number 1 team in the West, even though they've lost 2 in a row without CP3. They are at the champs, the defending champs, the Bucks, on Sunday. So we'll go ahead and start with, I'm going to go ahead and read Stats off first because he sent his in. Stats took Villanova, Purdue, Duke, and the USC Trojans. He went all college on us. All right, let's go with Birdman. Give us yours, sir.
All right. Hold on. I got to pull them up. I took Wisconsin, Duke, 76ers, and Suns.
All right. So we got the Bird in the house. Bro Mel, give us your picks.
I picked Purdue, Duke, 76ers, and the Bucks.
All right. Aggie P, give us yours, sir.
Yes, sir. I took Duke, USC, 76ers, and the Bucks.
All right. TP.
Villanova, Duke, 76ers, and USC.
All right. And that leaves us with the blind man. Radar Charger. You sure you can read them, sir?
I got it here. I got them here. Providence, Duke, Bucks, and the Cavs.
All right. So there you go. And then so I guess that leaves me as the last man standing. I took Providence, Wisconsin, Duke, and the 76ers. So there you have it. All right, it's time for a shout out and play or shut up. Shout out or shut up and play candidate. And we'll start with the Queen.
I want to give a shout out to all of our YouTubers and everyone who supports Love and Faith Radio. And we appreciate your support.
All right, excellent. Bromel.
I want to give a shout out to Fayetteville State winning the CIAA. Had
There you go.
couple of kids that played for me when they was 5 and 6 years old.
All right.
Give them a shout out for a good job. Well done.
Sounds good. All right, Aggie P.
My shout out goes to the Lord for getting these COVID numbers down.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, and we hope they continue to go down.
You're
Hey,
right, BT. Yeah.
now we need this crazy man over here and overseas to stop waging war, you know. Birdman.
Shout out to my little brother. His playoff game is tonight.
All right. Radar.
You know what? My shout out is to Big T to step up and remember all the team members next time we do the intros. I want him to step up and do better, Aggie P. That was totally out of order what he did today. I'm not going to sign off on that, sir.
That's another fine.
I mean, it's fine.
I got your back, sir. If don't nobody else do, I got your back, sir.
That's another fine. 3.5 million this time.
Hey, thank you, Ray.
Turn.
Thank you, Radar Charles, for keeping me honest and keeping me straight. Hey, my shout out is to my Detroit Pistons. They pulled off a last-second win over the Hornets, ending the Hornets' 15-game winning streak against Detroit. All right, for the Queen.
Blessings.
For Bromel.
Praise the Lord.
For Aggie P.
No weapon.
For Birdman. For Radar.
Narrow is the way.
I'm your man, Big T, signing off and saying, no matter where you are, look up and know that your creator is there. Until next time, see you, and we might want to be.
That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for the crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.